Hello everyone, my name is Sarain Fox and it is a pleasure to be joining all of you. I am here on my traditional territory, Algonquin territory, and this is Golden Lake behind me. So I'm going to introduce myself first in my language. Bojo, Wabananongo Kwain Desnakas Wabazeshi and Dodem, Anishinaabe Kwain Dao, Bachuana and Donchaba. So I am an Indigenous person. I'm a storyteller, and I want to share a little bit about how I came to define telling stories and choosing to make that a part of the work that I do, and in fact, all of the work that I do. So let's go way back. So I started out actually with an arts background. So like I said in my language, I'm Ojibwe and Anishinaabe, but I was raised just north of Toronto. So I grew up with an activist mom and two sisters, kind of, you know, on the gateway to the north, close to Toronto, but I grew up as an activist in a small town, and from a very young age learned that activism and advocacy wasn't something that I just decided to do. It was part of my everyday life and survival. So learning how to talk about who I am, what I'm proud of, my authentic truth is something that I've been learning how to do since I was a young person, dealing with diversity and adversity from as early as the school system right up and through my arts training. So I come from a dance background, and as you know, when you're in the arts, you want to develop all kinds of skills. You want to be able to do everything, because the more that you do, the more opportunities you have to focus on what you love. So I'm a big fan of the side hustle. I think the side hustle can be the main hustle, and the side hustles all together make one cohesive plan of action. So when I was young, I fell in love with fashion and how fashion and the arts sort of intersected, and how my own pride as an Indigenous person was playing into how I was playing around with fashion and how I was playing around with expressing myself and finding ways to be authentically proud of who I was in a world that didn't always want that to be on the forefront, didn't always want me to be proud of who I am. So I became a stylist when I was living in New York City. I was training at the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, getting a dance degree over there. And I came back to Canada when I finished that program, and it was actually like this time of year, late fall coming into winter, and I got a phone call. And it was my friends, and they were asking me, you know, you think you can audition for a Tribe Called Red video? They're looking for some young women to dance and just like represent young, authentic Indigenous culture and the mainstream. And I was like, rad, awesome, yeah, I'd love to audition. I was actually on my way to ceremonies. So I auditioned from a snowy parking lot in northern Wisconsin. That video audition is actually online, so if you want to like super nerd out, you can go to YouTube, check out Sarain Fox, and you can watch my audition video from way back then. I'm gonna regret sending you there, oh my goodness. All right, but I booked this video, and part of it was just representing who we are. And so because I have an interest in fashion, I really wanted to feature like the most vibrant representations of Indigenous culture I could find. So right away I reached out to Manitoba Mucklucks. I was trying to find really short notice. I was trying to find a bunch of mucklucks to outfit everyone in the video. And I pulled from a styling house, and I styled the whole video with authentic Indigenous wares and mucklucks. And I had been following this company, Manitoba Mucklucks, for a really long time. So what's a muckluck? So this is a muckluck. This is called a Keewatin. And a muckluck is basically the original winter boot. Well, not basically. It is the original winter boot. And Manitoba Mucklucks was inspired to take Indigenous knowledge that has existed for thousands of years and not change it, but help it transition into the future as well, while also keeping the traditional art of moccasin and muckluck making alive. So this is the type of moccasin that my people have always worn, and it's worn in the spring and fall. Has beautiful beadwork. This is a vintage piece. And this muckluck is a modern day interpretation of that, made for cold weather. So I'm just gonna put this one down. All right, so Manitoba Mucklucks. I styled them in this video, and that began a relationship with the brand. And that relationship became really important because I learned the importance and the intersection of where art and fashion and platform and media can all collide. And really the importance of authentic storytelling and how we can use our stories to speak authentically about a product and really stand behind something. And I learned that through my work with Manitoba Mucklucks, especially in the last 5 years. So I reached out to the company a million times with every kind of idea you could think of, from styling photo shoots for them to doing blogs, Instagram posts, and I started. My very first contract with them was touring around to every single trading post and retailer from Ontario all through until Winnipeg. So I saw almost every kind of retail environment, spoke about the brand, and in the process really got to understand, for me, how it wasn't just about selling a product. It's about going into a situation where you stand behind what you're saying and you find meaningful ways to make it your own. So what I love about Mucklucks is Indigenous representation. I love the function. I love that beauty is a part of the function, but not informing the entire product. I love products that have a story that connects me to why I want to represent that brand, but also why it's going to work in my life and transform or enhance my lifestyle. So for me, Mucklucks were the first way for me to say, hey, my people have been doing this for thousands of years. Of course, we are the experts in footwear. So why would you go anywhere else but the very first peoples of this land to outsource yourself, outfit yourself in cold weather gear? And that's a really amazing thing to be proud of. And it's an amazing way to inform a community and change their mind. So through footwear and through telling the Manitoba story, I have an opportunity to maybe have the first conversation with somebody as an Indigenous person. Maybe it's the first time that they've heard the history of my people, and it happens in a retail environment. And I think that's unexpected, but it's potent and powerful and possible. And so how we make ourselves vulnerable, how we allow ourselves to show up and come to the table, I think is really important. Another thing that I really fell in love with through Manitoba doing their retail rollout and getting a chance to do a lot of training with some really diverse staff from all over Canada, but Ontario and Manitoba especially. You know, I think we've lost a little bit of the door-to-door salesman or saleswoman or sales anyone. And I think we've forgotten